Hey y'all, it's Sherry K from Sherry K Loves Yarn and Crochet, and this is my hubby Chris, and tonight we are going to dye my hair, and we are using Schwarzkopf number 4.2 Mahogany Red, and it's a color Ultime, and it says Flaming Reds. So you won't be able to see this little thing on the back, so we're going to get started. And while he's dyeing my hair, I'm going to work on my grandson's Afghan.
And don't mind her cursing for yelling at me for ripping her hair out of her head. It's par for the course around here. I'm bound and determined to make her bald as well as redheaded.
And I'm no longer allowed to dye my hair by myself because I dyed the wall in our bathroom because my hair is so long and there's...
No, dyed the wall in the bathroom is not the statement. It looked like a Jackson Pollock painting. There was red spots everywhere. I'd rather do her hair myself than have to repaint the bathroom.
Again. So we're going to do this in sections, right?
I'm going all in on this. I don't know why this is in a tube. It's a paste. It's the worst one I've worked with so far. I got it.
So you don't want this in sections?
Well, you know me. I'll work my way through it. I got big fat fingers.
Well, we've never worked with the Schwarzkopf before, so...
Yeah, this is a new one for me. This one, the second part of it is in a cream. So, and I've stripped her hair before. I put dyes in it. I've re-dyed some blonde hair that wouldn't go away. It was like the friggin' never-ending blonde dye. I watched myself. Yeah, we had professionally her hair done as platinum blonde one time. And forever she was coming out looking like Bozo the Clown every time I dyed her hair red because it was actually coming out orange. So we used from Sally Hansen, we used a red base dye that you put in before you did the hair dye itself, and it was supposed to stain it. Maybe it was called a stain before you did the dyeing, and it really didn't help. Her hair now is finally, that was done in 2013. When we moved back to Vermont in 2015, it was still there and wouldn't go away. So every time I still dyed her hair red, it came out with an orange tinge.
At the very tips.
At the very tips. If you look at it now, you can still see the ends are white. Now that's how much her hair has grown out from the root since.
Well, I've cut 6 inches off in
the
past.
But it's still down there. So, I mean, it's still here in some ways. Because if you get really up close on it, it's kind of coppery up in the ends where her natural color is brown with auburn highlights. In the summertime, it will get brassy on her. So, dyeing it red is really not far from her natural colors. It's just more shocking. I'll get to it.
I'm just seeing which one you want to use.
I probably use the one with the white handle so I can see I don't get as much stuff stuck in the tines.
But as you guys saw before, this is the blanket I'm making for my grandson. I'm still working off of the macaron big cake. Like I said before, it's either, I don't think it's tiramisu. I think it's honey something, honey
Was
baked.
it a latte?
No.
That wasn't a latte.
No, the latte cakes are something else.
No, it wasn't that. The color.
No.
Yeah,
No. It wasn't.
I just go to the store and buy the stuff. I get weird names. Okay, so I'm going to start in the back here.
It's cold.
Well, I tried warming it up in my hands. I mean, there's only so much you can do when you got rubbers on. Not as cold as your feet at night. I'm just putting little batches on so you can get used to it. Since you get all the dye put in, she then becomes the bag lady. Grab a shopping bag and tie it to her head so she can cook. This stuff is almost a peach color, which normally with the reds that I put in her hair, they're actually more fire engine red when they go on. When she goes to Stitch Fest, we may do her hair in purple. I literally haven't dyed her hair in about 2 years. Alright, I'm going to have you just lean forward so I can get this little tail on the back here.
Normally we just use one application's worth. I don't think I've ever used more than that.
No, we've actually used 2 when we were trying to get rid of that blonde. And then we stacked it where we did one day and one another day after we got the stain. I try to get all her roots first so it kind of looks more natural and goes out to the darker colors that she has in her normal hair. Not that I'm hiding any gray or anything. I mean, for a woman in her 50s, she may have 1 or 2 you find occasionally, but I've been gray since I was in junior high school. And I graduated high school at 17 years old, so I started out gray very young. I may be 13 years younger than her, but I'm probably physically maybe 15 or 20 years older than her with some of the issues I have with arthritis and stuff. Plus I spoil the crap out of her.
Yes, he does. I'm supposed to be on a yarn ban, but anytime a good sale comes on, he takes me to the store so I can get some yarn.
Yeah. And she's only on a yarn ban because we got projects we're doing around here and stuff and on the cars. We did buy a couple more cars. Well, 1 more car. Possibly 2. Last week. Still trying to find her a nice little Asian car so she has something a little more compact and economical if she finds a job that she likes that's a little further away from the house. Even though those big cars do get very good gas mileage, they get 22 to 26 miles per gallon, and with the way she drives, unless I've aggravated her, she gets really great gas mileage. So rule number 1, don't aggravate her if you want to save money.
No. I have a lead foot. Let's be honest. I have a lead foot.
But she uses the cruise control, so that eliminates most of it. She's just not going to get her dream car anytime soon, which she wants a 3000 GT like she used to have. Or a Jag. I was never a fan of Jags. I worked for Ford for a long time, even when Jaguar was part of Ford. and all the Lincolns were made by Jaguar, and I had to pull the trannies out of them and everything else. They were a horror show. It was the nicest thing when Ford sold Jaguar away from the company.
Did you want the one to go down?
No, I'm not yet. I'm just working this into the top. Just little places. You can have red spots. It'll look like you got hickeys.
It wouldn't be the first time we got.
You can have orange ears too, by the way.
Whatever.
I keep forgetting to put Vaseline on your ears. It's a good trick. Just coat the ears in Vaseline and the dye won't set. Petroleum gel, AB ointment too, for those of you that have babies in the house. What is? She likes it when I play with her hair, except when I rip it out.
So I was telling everybody in one of the other videos when we went a week ago to get our EDLs that I've been trying to talk you into doing a cooking show.
Yeah, I know. I'm good about making food porn, but, you know, I'm not really I want to sit and talk on camera all day. As it is, I have to make some videos for the training club. And I haven't gotten to it yet just because I don't want to do all the talking.
Yeah, but you're so good at it.
Yeah. We may upgrade her to a newer camera. I'm looking for a power supply for her so she can capture a little bit better. I have commercial photography lighting for her to use. I just haven't brought it over. I have it stored with all my backdrops and chroma keys and stuff over in a barn at my parents' house. I never needed to bring it over here, never mind. It's all in Marine Corps drop boxes that I happened to pick up when we owned our business in Florida. We may sell our house and move back into an apartment I built in my family home, which is actually bigger than our house. Our house is about 1,400 square feet. The apartment's about 2,000 square feet, with cathedrals, well, not cathedral ceilings, but 12-foot ceilings. So it makes it easier for lighting, and she could have more yarn storage. Never mind, we have a 2,000 square foot attic that we could use at any time for storage. And my parents are getting older. My father's in his mid-70s, and my mother is in her
mid-60s.
Actually, she's 66 now.
Yeah, she's in her mid-60s.
Yep, 66. So, and they've got a lot of projects on that house, and they'd really like me to take over that house. Not that I'd want to stay there the rest of my life, but it is a big house, and it's got a 3,000 square foot enclosed barn that's not for livestock, but it's like a workshop I use for woodworking and for car repair and stuff like that. And we've got a big 10,000 square foot chicken house we built over there when before she started doing yarn again. She was collecting chickens like they were water. Yeah, she had almost 800 chickens. So,
yeah, but they were well taken care of.
Yeah, we take care of our animals well, and we were selling the eggs to the neighborhood co-op group once a month.
And I also had just private buyers. But when our son graduates from high school in 3 years, we want to go back down south.
Probably Tennessee. Tennessee's a tax haven. You can still get decently priced, inexpensive houses. Neither one of us wants to walk upstairs once we get older. The stairs in this house are so irregular. They're not. They're right for when they were built, but they're not right by comparison to what normally people would think of normal stairs out today. The rise and the reach on them are not irregular.
Our house was built in 1832, so you can imagine what the stairs feel like.
Yeah, and there's a lot of wasted space. The staircase is like 25 feet tall, and you can't really extend the room over the top of the staircase because it would provide an irregular shape to the room. So.
And he'd probably hit his head on the ceiling.
The staircase. That crazy cat.
Figaro.
We have a cat that decided he was going to try and crawl through a tiny hole in the toe kick that I haven't put in yet because we just did the heating system in the house. So I'm making all new toe kicks. And he just squeezed his tiny little black butt in the hole. And now he's hiding in the cabinets. His name is Figaro. We picked him up at a bar in Florida. And he sings to Sherry.
He talks.
He wants to always talk to her.
Well, we're back. The
program stopped.
I don't know if it's saved or not, or if we lost anything.
So yeah, I was talking about the cat. He's quite a character. He sings to Sherry. We picked him up outside a bar in Florida, and he's been with us ever since. Occasionally I call him Whitney Houston because he's so skinny and always screaming. Reminds me of watching Bobby Brown and Whitney yelling at each other on MTV back when I was a kid. Actually, maybe not even when I was a kid, but still. He has his moments. He'll run around here. He'll yell at her. He'll tell her to go to bed.
He knows when it's my bedtime.
Yeah.
I usually go to bed around 9:30.
He'll be down here at like 8:45, if not a little sooner.
And he just starts to meow at me.
If he's sleeping on the bed with me sound asleep, he hears her shuffle in her slippers, he will literally run to the top of the stairs and he will yell at her to come up to make sure she's coming. And if she doesn't come up, he will then proceed downstairs to find out why she's not coming up. So nothing like having a cat that's running your life.
But with 2 dogs and 3 cats and 17 chickens.
And the 9 goldfish.
The 9 goldfish. And a son. They all run our life.
Probably should have got a second bottle of this.
Well, it is what it is.
It's alright. It'll look like red highlights when I'm done. It'll look like you have an undercolor. Like those blonde hairdos.
Yeah.
I can already see red starting to come out in the strands. It's those ones that have the orange in them still from the blonde.
Well, I thought I was going to do my blanket, but...
It's hard to do your blanket while I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's just me pulling.
It's the rubber gloves pulling.
So when I'm done with this, after she's washed it out, I will take a still for her to post with it. So we can at least see how the color looks afterwards. Now, if we could get her some sunlight, she wouldn't look like a bloody vampire. Maybe a little bit of bronzer.
Well, you can't do anything about it in the wintertime.
Just take you and stick you in a toaster oven. Thank you.
Or do you want the comb?
No, I'm good with this. As long as I don't stab you in the head too much. A little bit's good. Keep you on your feet.
Y'all, I usually fall asleep while he's doing this.
Yeah, it's lucky she's sitting in a stool, so she can't fall over. Because if she does, she knows she'll hit the floor. I bought her a chestnut color a couple weeks ago to put in, just so we could give it a base of something until she really decided on what color she wanted to do. But we were in the pharmacy the other day, yet again waiting for them to figure out how to give me my scripts.
I tell you, our Walgreens is the worst.
It is such a cluster over there. They changed from Rite Aid to Walgreens, and when they did, they told me I didn't have insurance anymore. Then they told me I never gave them insurance, and finally they realized that they were wrong. They couldn't find any of my scripts, told me I didn't have any scripts there. I brought the darn bottles in and said, listen, these came from here. So finally they found all my old stuff, but they had to put me back in the computer, all my insurance cards back in the computer. And now every time I go there to pick something up, because I get a text message that it's ready, they're like, oh, it's never been processed to be done. So, I mean, it's Walgreens. So, I mean, I never had a problem with Walgreens when we were down in Florida, but I so much loved getting my scripts at Publix. They were nicer. All antibiotics were free at Publix. So, you know, if you went to the doctor and you were sick with pneumonia or bronchitis or something, it didn't matter if you had insurance or not. The antibiotics were free. So, I mean, that helped out my stepdaughter when she had some issues, and it helped out Sherry when she was in between jobs, and her insurance company, she didn't have one.
I refused to go on Obamacare because it was going to take...
It was going to cost her $1,500
every month
when that first came out, and there were only so many few options in Florida because they didn't do the expansion. It was outrageous. So it was one of those things where she had gotten pneumonia, and they covered her scripts, which was really nice. So not every company is out to mess people over.
I found a little hair.
You found a gray hair?
I found a little hair.
Oh, well, it's white. Oh, no, it's not white. It's blonde. It's a curly. It's not gray, baby.
I ain't worried if it is gray.
I got a gray hair on my stomach that's about a foot long.
TMI, baby, TMI.
I plucked it the other day. I saw that. I thought it was Spot's hair on me. We have a cat that his name's Spot. He looks like a dairy cow. And, I mean, he's got like a broken heart on one side, and he's got like this Elvis sideburn thing going on the other side of him. But he's a character. But he's got this double coat of white fur, and every time I go to do something, I'll find it on something, especially if Sherry's getting ready for work and she's wearing a black uniform. He will hunt her down and try and rub on her. She's going to wander around the house with a lint roller, because if he gets her, she's done.
I'm just covered. I'm covered.
Not as bad as my parents' dog. My parents have got this border collie
Pitbull mix.
Pitbull mix, and I mean, she looks like a border collie with the muscle structure of almost a bull mastiff underneath. Yeah, but her fur is
double coated.
It's double coated, and the fur that comes off her can be anywhere from 4 to 6 inches long. and it just sticks to everything. Tried cleaning my dad's car one day for him as a nice gesture, and with a roll of duct tape, I couldn't get the fur out of the fabric. I tried Gorilla Tape, duct tape. It was horrendous.
Vacuuming.
He turned the car back in for a lease, and they're like, "Oh no, we'll get it out." I'm like, well, "Good luck to you." I can smell this stuff now. My sinuses are clearing.
It doesn't smell too bad.
No, it's not too bad, but I can smell it. It's not like that other one that smells like it's turpentine or paint thinner or something.
That's Revlon.
Oh yeah. I thought that was that color silk stuff.
No.
That
That's
color,
Revlon.
Yeah. Well, the color silk stuff smells like it smells like it's eating paint. That one we got from Sally Hansen that time too smelled like that.
Ugh.
That stuff. Literally, it reminded me of going to the hair salon with my grandmother when I was a kid. Oh, it was horrible. It was a tint and base, and it was just after about 10 minutes of working with it, it kind of smelled like sulfuric acid or drain cleaner. It really was not a pleasant smell at all. So this is when she gets angry.
Okay, if you start at the bottom, like I tell you.
Well, I'm pulling through the top to make sure I get all the strands on the top. So you can't ask for the bottom when I got to start to make sure the top so I can pull the color in. So I'm the primary cause of her knotted hair because I play with her hair while she's sleeping. Not that I know that I'm doing it sometimes. And I didn't let her wash it today knowing I was doing this.
Oh, they already know it was. Everybody who has ever dyed their hair knows you don't wash your hair for a couple of days before you dye. That way the dye adheres to the strands.
Yeah, plus it's not all stripped of oil already. And it doesn't have any coatings on it from the shampoos or the conditioners. That was your ear I just hooked.
Yeah.
I was going to comb her ear right off. Maybe we should put racing stripes in Connor's head. I got a little bit of dye left.
Well, if he wants it, he can have it. Unless we need it.
I don't know. He'd probably get picked on more than usual. Oop, that's the ear. Hey, it's mine.
Hey, it sticks out far enough that you can see it.
Okay, Goofy. So looking like we've got a nice application here. I like the streaks in the back. She looks like she's got like racing stripes in the back because the way her hair lays. Some of it took the dye faster than the other parts because of her already red highlights that are in it.
Now I'm using a new software that he got me for my birthday. It's Corel.
It's Corel Video Studio Ultimate. For my photography, I use their photography software, which is I like better than Adobe Photoshop. I don't run Macs, I run IBMs, so it seems to work much better for me. I generally only work with certain parts of the photo. I don't need to change a lot in post editing. I may take out a scar or a tattoo or something on somebody, or just go in and change some of the lightings or the color tones on photos. But I don't need, a $4,000 computer program on a computer that I don't like in order to do the photo.